Hi everyone, welcome to the fifth part of my video tutorial series on how to use Red Hat JBoss BPM Suite version 6. In this video we'll take a look at the domain-specific language of the rules management part of BPM Suite. Domain-specific language is a means of providing a more natural-like language for our rule authoring. This natural-like language would give great benefit to our business users, as they could, for one, see what rules are and what they will do, and as we can design the language to their needs, to the needs of the business users, we can give them the capability of designing their own rules. So if we go back in our sample, which we created in the first 4 videos, we go into the project authoring part, and to spare you of my slow typing and searching for the right parentheses, I've went ahead and created the domain-specific language already. So it's a small one, but it'll give you an idea of how the domain-specific language looks like and how to use it. So if you want to create a new one, you go to New Item and then DSL Definition. As you probably remember, a rule always consists of a when part and a then part, so a condition and a consequence. And that is exactly how the domain-specific language is created as well. We'll have a condition, and the condition is always grouped to a data structure or an object that we want the condition to apply to. And here the consequences, also aligned to a data object or data structure. So let's take a look at what we have here. We have a condition which is aligned to our insured object structure, and the condition is there is a request for an object to be insured. Sounds very easy, and I think everyone who works with insurances understands what's meant by this. So the domain-specific language also always consists of 2 parts, the natural language part and the translation into the rules language. They're separated by the equal sign. So the statement, there is a request for an object to be created, is in the rules language to be translated into this, which is exactly the same. There is an insured object, and we want to put this into a variable called object. Here we do the same for our contract. There is a prepared contract, and this translates into there is a data object contract, and that is then put into the variable contract. So then if you remember our rule that we created for a small flat, was always first asking there is an object, and then the, let's say, sub-conditions. This object is of type flat, and the size of the object is So we do the same here. We prepare the different statements that a line of business user could select to further filter the insured object. So the condition is the same, insured object, and here we have like type of object is, and then in these round parentheses, I don't know if you call them properly in English, we'll define a variable which on the front end for the line of business user is then visualized by an entry field, so he can enter what type of house the object has to be. And again here the translation of the statement into the rules language. Another condition for the insured object, size of object is greater than size, and size of object is less or equal to size. So now we can really do the filtering. This is the condition part. Then the consequence part. As you remember, in our first sample, when we had a request for a flat which was greater than, I think it was 100 square meter size, then increase the discount. It was decrease, but anyhow, decrease the discount of the contract. So we'll do the same here. We'll prepare the two statements that a line of business user could use. So the consequence applies to the contract, and there is one possibility: increase insurance policy by variable amount %, which translates into this rule statement, or decrease insurance policy by variable amount %, which translates into this statement. So more or less this is all that needs to be done to create a domain-specific language. So we'll save this one here, and now we'll create a new rule, and this time we'll use the domain-specific language. So with a new guided rule, this one shall be large, not small flats, large flat, and do the check mark on use domain-specific language. So at first the guided rule editor looks exactly like it did when we created a rule without domain-specific language, but the difference now comes when we select or start adding conditions, because now we have the statement, there is a prepared contract, and there's a request for an object to be insured. And if we want to do further things, like there's the request for an object insured, type of object is, let's say, again, flat, and size of object is greater than, say, because it's a large one, and maybe later one we will have medium ones, the size of the object is greater than 100, then now we see in the then part only the condition parts of the domain-specific, no, the consequences part of the domain-specific languages is provided. So increase insurance by amount %. We'll say 10. So now this looks much more readable and natural language-like, but still translates, if we look at the source, into our plain Joule's language. So this is the rule that we've created. We'll save it, and we'll also create a test scenario for it, and like in every good cooking video, I went ahead and created one. So nothing new to learn here. See, now I forgot something. Good that we do the video without big taping and cutting. We have to, of course, add the new rule to our rule flow group. So we'll go back in the guided rule with domain-specific language, and here's the large rule. We go to the options, and we'll add the option of rule flow group. And we'll add it to the same rule flow group as the other rule was in. So save it again, go back into the test scenario. So given is activate this rule flow group. We'll insert a contract with a discount of given value of 11. we'll insert insert object of type flat with a size of 101, and we expect that the contract will have a discount which equals to 21, as we remember the rule increased the discount. So we'll save this scenario, we'll run the scenario. Let's take a look at the report down here. Success. If we put anything else here in the expect field and run the scenario, the system will tell us that there is a failure. So this was the first introduction in domain-specific languages and how to create them and how to use them. In the next movie, we will start to look at our first small business process and how to use the rules in a business process. So stay tuned.